If you're thinking about franchising your business or you've recently franchised, the most important question that you should have is how do you succeed? How do you win at franchising? What's the process? What's the expectations you should have? And how long should it take? Where people fail at franchising, it's not because franchising doesn't work. It's because they have the wrong expectations. They get what I call franchise fatigue. So let's talk about how do we succeed? How do we win? What's our 5-year strategy? And what's the right mindset as you go into franchising and as you grow your franchise system? The right mindset, and what we're talking about is your 5-year winning strategy. We're going to focus on year 1, years 2 to 3, and years 4 to 5. Right? So year 1 should be about launching and seasoning your franchise offering. And we're going to talk about that some more. Years 2 to 3, onboarding and supporting new franchisees. And years 4, 5, and beyond, those are your growth and acceleration years. And we're going to focus on each of them. We're going to talk about the right mindset. And if you think about it now and you put it into your planning, you can win at franchising. So let's dive right in. Year 1. So year 1, you're going to be working with your franchise lawyer. You may be working with a franchise development team, but the right team combines legal and franchise development. We're going to be developing your franchise disclosure document. Key part of that is going to be positioning your franchise offering and significantly developing what we call your Item 19, which is your financial performance representation. So let's say in year 1, it takes 90 to 120 days. We develop your franchise offering. You're now called a franchisor. You're ready to offer and sell franchises. What happens next? Well, many people in the industry act as if once you franchise, it gets easy. That people are just going to come to you and you're just going to start selling franchises and be an automatic success, but it doesn't work that way. In fact, in year 1, what we need to do is focus on what I call seasoning your franchise brand. And what does that mean? That means we've now launched your franchise. You're ready to sell. It means that you're focused on the organic contacts, the people that know your brand, people that may be well capitalized, that may be a good fit for you to become your first 1, 2, 3, 5 franchisees. You need well capitalized people and people share your brand values. So in this year 1, as we season your brand, we're not going to be spending a lot of money on outbound media. We're not going to be spending a lot of money on paid ads. We are going to focus on the organic reach, your customers, your brand advocates, people that know your brand. But also we're going to focus on developing your budget for the next year, next 2, next 3 and 5 years, and the strategy. And so in year 1, your strategy should be all about seasoning your franchise brand. And what do I mean? I mean developing your franchise sales landing page, turning on some third-party franchise PR, and developing, so important, develop your brand story. Why you, why now, your founder story. So the mistake that many franchisors make, and this is not only startups, but these are also experienced franchisors. They're selling franchises. You go to their franchise sales website and they sound like everyone else. There's almost nothing that differentiates them from their competitors. And we see this so much with startup and emerging franchisors where their franchise sales webpage and their story is very basic. It's buy our franchise, or they may be disclosing how much a franchise costs, but it goes much more. You're now a new startup franchisor. We have to develop in year 1 your brand story, which comes down to your founder story, why you started the franchise, why you started the business, how it transformed and changed your life, how it can change the lives of your franchisees. Your brand story, what your brand means to your consumers and what it can mean to your franchisees. And importantly, why you, why now? Sure, you may have much bigger competitors or long-established franchisors, but what makes your new franchise offering unique? Why should the right franchisee be compelled to work with you and sign on with you? And why they should do it right now? These are things that sound basic, but they're overlooked so often. So year 1, we're not going to be spending a ton of money. If you said, Charles, I have $1 million to spend on franchise sales marketing, what I would tell you is that you're going to be wasting it because your system is not ready yet. So year 1, we launch your franchise offering. We focus on limited sales within your organic reach. And most important, Focus on seasoning your franchise brand, your why you, why now, your founder story, and what we'll call the transformation story for your franchisees. Make sure that aligns with your new franchise sales webpage, your social media, and then from there, you're going to see in years 2 and beyond, we're going to build on that. So year 1, we launch and season your franchise brand. So now let's talk about year 2. And in years 2 to 3, your mindset should be focused on onboarding and supporting your new franchisees. So I can tell you this, if you want to succeed as a franchise brand, as a franchisor, you need 2 things. You need validation from your existing franchisees, and you need good unit level economics, meaning your franchisees are making money, they're doing well, and their expectations were met. So now year 1, we launched. Year 1, we seasoned your franchise offering, right? We've developed your founder story, your brand story, your positioning. We focused on organic sales. Now, years 2 to 3, we want to get your franchisees open and successful. And we want to start turning on third-party validation and marketing, working with a good franchise PR team that's going to develop stories and articles about your brand, and build those third-party validation, right? So the founder story that we worked on in year 1, well, we now want PR and digital media to amplify that story, give it support, and keep building on the substance of it. So we've set the foundation year 1. Now let's pay for outbound digital media, franchise PR. Let's tell that story everywhere. Most important, we're going to support our existing franchisees, right? So in the future, they're going to tell the story about your amazing support. They're going to tell the story of how easy it was to get open, how you did what you said you would do, and how their business has been successful, right? So now your franchisees are up and running, and now's a great time to build relationships with brokers and quality franchise broker organizations. Franchise brokers want to see successful franchisors. They don't just recommend franchises based on commissions, right? At least the good franchise brokers, they care about who they're placing their clients with, their candidates with. So they want to see that, 1, you're serious about supporting your franchisees. 2, that you have a good process. If they refer a candidate to you, you have a good process to communicate with and qualify your candidates. And again, that goes to that founder story, your brand positioning. Brokers are going to care about that. So years 2 and 3, we're going to keep focusing on organic sales. We're going to start amplifying our brand story through outbound digital media and franchise PR. That's going to help build validation. We're going to start building up our broker relationships. And most important, we're going to support our franchisees, help build toward their success. Why? Because their validation and their financial success, which comes in play in item 19 of the FDD, is going to determine how we grow in the future. So those are the key factors for years 2 and 3. Now let's get to our acceleration and growth stage. Years 4 to 5 and beyond is where, as a franchisor, that's where the winning takes place. If we've done the right things in years 1 through 3, built our foundation, launched our FDD the right way, seasoned our franchise brand, have a compelling why you, why now story, have digital media that's building our validation, and build up broker relationships. But most important, we have franchisees who are satisfied. If a broker refers a candidate to us, our existing franchisees will validate. In our FDD, our item 19, which is a section that discloses the financial performance of our company-owned outlets and our franchise outlets, those show good numbers. Years 4 to 5 and beyond, that's when we accelerate and grow. That's where we focus on enhanced broker sales, enhanced sales from our digital marketing, and potentially, as we add units, private equity and raising capital to fuel the next level of growth. Ironically, to go from 0 franchise units to 50 is much harder than going from 50 to 100. So this is the right strategy and plan. Now, where people get taken off base is if you're not focused on, if you don't have the right expectations. And if you don't realize that franchising is an investment, years 1 to 3, you're not profiting from becoming a franchisor. You're building up your network. You're building up your future royalty stream. You're building up your momentum. So years 1 through 3, you're going to be making investments, right? It's not where you're going to be cash flow positive. You're going to be investing in your franchise system. After that investment, you keep building up your franchisees, you focus on their success and validation, and what you have is great momentum for a winning franchise system. If you have that right mindset, if we focus on that 5-year strategy, you're going to win. If you're focused on winning in years 1 and 2, it's not going to happen, or worse, people are going to make promises to you. Whether it's through marketing or claim franchise sales, they're going to take your money and you're not going to have the financial success or the franchise sales success that you expected or that was promised to you, because it takes time to build this up. So stay focused on the 5-year strategy. If you have the right mindset, the right planning, you're going to win at franchising.